Hey guys, and welcome to the quite frankly awesome looking and even better looking in person. I've never seen one in the flesh before. This is up there with one of the coolest looking bikes I've ever seen. That's a lot saying for an adventure bike, but it's seriously a wicked cool looking bike. The Husqvarna Norden 901, coming in at £12,349. I'll put that on the screen if I'm a little bit off, but I'm pretty sure it's that. Very much, if you don't know yet, based on the KTM 890 adventure platform, same engine, same chassis, etc. with a few differences. Gonna take her for a ride today, just have a bit of fun, try and relax, enjoy the bike and see what it's all about. I've got a feeling it's gonna be a nice one. I'm hoping it is anyway. I'm hoping the ride lives up to the just really cool looking looks of this motorcycle. Okay, so with the KTM 890 coming in at 11,449, this Norden Husqvarna is about £900 more expensive. Is it worth it in the looks department? 1,000,000%. I think this looks much better than the KTM. Sorry KTM owners. Yeah, let's find out how it rides. I can imagine it's going to be pretty similar to the KTM, but let's see. Price wise as well, this is cheaper than the Triumph 900 Tiger Rally Pro by about £1,000 actually, so a fair bit, and it's got most of the same technology as well. This is also a little bit cheaper than the Honda Africa Twin as well, and it's putting out very similar power figures of those as well. It's actually more powerful than the Tiger 900. So I think actually price wise I'm giving it a bit of a thumbs up. It's looking pretty good price wise. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to Whole Shot Motorcycles in Salisbury, or Whole Shot Motocross, excuse me, in Salisbury, for lending me the bike for today. Very generous of them, because it is looking pristinely clean. They keep their bikes in great condition. They do motocross, Husqvarna, quads, all sorts. Check them out. I'll pop their link in the description of the video. Let's jump on and take her for a ride. What we got? Got the KTM's, I feel harsh saying KTM's, Husqvarna 889cc parallel twin with 105 horsepower and 100 newton meters of torque. Yeah, it's a middleweight adventure bike, but that's still plenty of power, and I've got a feeling it's going to be a nice amount of power for a bike like this. Immediately jumping on, starting off, feels like quite a tall bike, but that is because I've just jumped off my personal Triumph Speedmaster, which is very low. We'll go over specs of seat height and weight, etc. in a bit, but immediately that engine feels characterful. So it's got something like a 435 degree firing order, which I'm not entirely sure what that means, but KTM say it is to mimic their bigger twins, their bigger V twins. So, and I must say it does sound like them a bit. Sounds nice. Straight off the bat, it feels light. It's got pickup as well. Yeah, just missed a gear actually. That was the quick shifter, partly my fault, poor changing, but yeah, feels light and quite responsive. As I said, it's got a quick shifter. This comes as standard on the Norden 901, it doesn't on the KTM. That's nice. Actually, KTM do a little trick. Salesman was telling me at Whole Shot Motocross, KTM give it to you until the first service, the quick shifter, it comes fitted, and then at the first service they'll turn the quick shifter off unless you want to pay extra to have it, which is a little bit cheeky. Norden are being a bit, Husqvarna are being a bit nicer, they just give it to you, so that's good. Well, we got very sort of, oh yeah, it leans in. It's an agile bike, and actually for an adventure bike it feels light and fun. Feels very KTM at the moment. It's lapping up these gravelly, bumpy roads really nicely. WP forks up front and WP monoshock on the rear. So it's got a nice light clutch and a nice, fairly long gear throw to it actually, but really nice and light and schnickety. The quick shifter is very smooth, very nice. So switchgear wise, I mean, it's pretty much KTM, very similar to KTM. I actually really like the KTM switchgear. And on this you got cruise control as standard, very easily, quite intuitive once flicking through the dash. Obviously that adventure commanding riding position, nice and tall. I would say though, this bike compared to other adventure bikes feels lighter. You feel more over the front end. You've got a 21-inch front wheel, but you feel a little bit more sporty, a little more over that front end than other adventure bikes. It's a bit of a different riding proposition. So also coming standard with the bike, you've got your 12-volt socket here for your phone, nav. You've also got fog lights, which are very tricky to tell whether they're on or not. There's a really faint light. I actually have no idea, but a really faint light. If it was dark you could tell, but yeah, I just can't tell. A little bit annoying, but it's nice that they come standard with the bike. So a fairly short screen up front, guys. Non-adjustable, it's just there, fixed screen. It does deflect wind from your upper torso, but leaving me with some wind to my helmet area and face, but nothing bad. I personally prefer a bit of a taller screen, but yeah, the wind protection is decent. They've actually got that new Expedition model coming out soon with a taller screen and suspension, etc. That, I think that just looks, oh, lovely. Ooh, it's fun. This is a weird bike. It does not feel like an adventure bike. It feels like a supermoto on the road. It's peppy. It's like a little Jack Russell. It's ready to go. Eager to go, quick response, very KTM feeling this. You got a 21-inch up front, but honestly this is probably the best bike I've ridden on road, handling wise, agility wise, where you just really wouldn't tell it's a 21-inch front wheel up front. Really impressive. Yeah, that's the overall vibe. If you've ever ridden an Africa Twin or even the Tiger 900, they're slightly more docile bikes. They're fast, but this is more of that slightly hooligan KTM feeling to it. Slightly rough around the edges, could call it character. Was not expecting this. It's a bit of a, not a hooligan bike, but it's ready to play. Okay, rider modes. We're going from street, rain, off-road and explorer. Let's go off-roading, why not? Now, full disclosure, I am not a motocross rider, but I'd just be rude to borrow this bike and not, this is barely off-roading, is it? It's more of a gravel track, but gotta try some sort of off-roading. Bumpy. It feels agile, yeah. This feels quite nice. So I rode the Triumph Tiger 1200 Rally Explorer the other day, just on a similar track to this, really easy, but this feels much easier, much lighter, more planted. I would give it the beans more, but I'm not that competent off-road, so I really am just taking it easy. But even so, for me, I can feel it feels lighter, a lot more confidence inspiring than those bigger bikes like the Tiger 1200 or even the GS. Oh, it's even already starting to play with it a bit. Oh, yeah, it's good off-road. It is good off-road. Oh, I don't want to do any risks because it's not my bike and I'd just be so embarrassed if I dropped it. But if it was mine, I would be taking a little bit more risks with this. Oh yes. Shit, I want to go off-roading. I don't even know if we're allowed up here. I hope we are. Yeah, this car's coming down. Well, there we go. Let's turn back and do that again. God, that was fun. Oh, come on. Yeah, that car's going. I think we can overtake it. Whoop. Sorry, my dear. Taking doggy for a walk. Yeah, that is testament to this bike. Literally just saying how peppy and quite sort of hyper motardy it was on the road, and now off-road. I'm loving it, and I am terrible off-roading. It shows how easy and capable this is. Oh, little jump with the back wheel. Oh, he's an off-roader. And you got the quick shifter, which makes it much easier off-roading. You haven't got to go for the clutch. And then back on road, pop her in street mode. And you're off again. Yoo! Fun, fun, fun this thing is. It's really amazing how a bike can do that off-road, and then you get on-road and it's just like this. I already definitely prefer this to the 890 because I know I'm riding something that looks good. Right, we'll just go over the specs and reasons why I think it is so good on-road and off-road, etc. Any downsides? I'm just feeling as I'm just cruising along here, which I don't want to, I just want to open it up. That's the vibe of the bike. Possibly not as comfortable. Well, it's not as comfortable as the Africa Twin and the whole vibe of it, but like I said, the Tiger 900, it's just not quite as smooth and grown up. This is a younger feeling, sportier number. I just even sped up then. I can't even cruise, I just want to ride it fast. Saying that, comfort wise, it's a comfy seat. It's quite a wide seat actually, narrow between your legs where the tank is, and that is because I'll explain in a bit, but the seat's comfy. It's a comfy motorcycle, it's just more the vibe of the bike is not egging me on to just sit back, roll and just slowly enjoy the torque and enjoy the view. It's making me want to ride fast. Quick shift is cool, gives a nice brr, brr, brr when you turn up a gear or flick up a gear. Don't know how they do it. It's got to be that fuel tank, the bladder fuel tank. Just handles so well, these and the KTM adventure bikes. Oh, this thing's a riot. Just wanted to change up to 7 then. Getting carried away. Yeah, buddy. Oh no, I got her muddy look. Not too bad. That's what they're intended for, just a little light dusting of mud. Right, some obligatory tech specs for you guys. So front suspension, you've got 43mm WP Apex forks with 220mm of travel. You can adjust on the top of the forks manually your rebound and compression, not your preload on the front forks. I'm not sure why they don't do that, but yeah, suspension feels nicely set up as is. I just did a gravel tracking, laning, and on-road, and it feels, yeah, quality. Handling's great, really nice. Rear suspension, you have WP Apex monoshock again, but with 215mm of travel, and you have rebound and preload adjustability on the rear. This is actually, the suspension feels good for off-roading. They're coming out with a new Expedition model, 2023. This is a 2023 model, but it's the standard Norden 901. There's a new Expedition coming out. That's got longer travel suspension, more serious off-roading suspension. That looks like the one if you're going to be doing serious off-roading, pretty good, but for your average rider this is more than enough travel and quality suspension for my style of riding. Okay guys, so front brakes, you've got two 320mm discs with 4-piston radially mounted, and it looks like Husqvarna branded calipers as well. Not sure if they are, but yeah, the brakes are nice, not mega sharp and mega impressive, but yeah, all you need really. And on the rear you have a single 260mm 2-piston floating caliper. Alrighty, getting on to the seat height and weight of the bike. Wet weight of the bike's 223 kilograms. Now, one big thing, and same as with the KTM 1290 and their 890 Adventure, the bladder fuel tanks, that weight is really low down, and I think along with a few other features, but that is a big reason for it just handling so well on road and especially off road. All of that weight is nice and low down, and it just, they're special bikes to ride. They really do feel capable on and off road. Jump on, show you the seat height. So, seat height, 854mm in its lowest setting, 874mm in its highest setting, so 20mm adjustability. I'm in the lowest setting here, as you might be able to see. There's a gap here and you can see the 20mm where the seat will rise. I'm 5'9", 32-inch inseam. I can't quite flat foot it. I'm sort of on my tippy toes, balls feet sort of, not quite tippy toes. However, because you've got those bladder fuel tanks down low, it's actually fairly narrow, between your legs here, and with that weight being down low, it's not intimidating. When you're on it, like other adventure bikes can be a little bit scary when you're doing off-road or small and slow maneuvers. You got to do a U-turn on a muddy track or whatever, but it's got an element of confidence to it for a bigger bike, which is really nice and encouraging. That's what you would want from this. I really would take this bike off-roading if I owned it. Just been an absolute blast doing that off-roading there, and yeah, it's making me want to get one and do some off-roading, so that is a big testament to the bike. You know you like a bike when you're excited to get back on and ride it. I mean, just look at it. I think it's such a cool looking bike. I can get why some people wouldn't like it. I just love it. Just love the strikes of yellow, the white on the rear, the patterns on the front here with the Norden logo. It's really cool. She showed the integrated fog lights as well. Come with the bike as standard. That's a really nice feature. They're really bright as well. Really like the tinted screen. As I say, I prefer a slightly taller screen actually, but it's warming on me. I quite like it. Single round headlight at the front. Old school, sort of retro style look to it. Mickey Mouse wing mirrors. And a point on the seat actually. I feel I should mention the seat. It's dust off a bit of grass there. It's quality. It's a lot wider than many seats out there, which does make it comfortable for riding. Alright, the excitement's building already. What a machine. I'm actually feeling a little bit worried here. I quite want one. With test riding lots of bikes, as I do, I try to remain quite strong. Well, obviously I just can't do it, I haven't got the money either. But I'd like to buy a lot of bikes I test ride, but that would just be too expensive. This is one of those bikes where you go home, I think, and I will be thinking, oh, yeah, I could get used to that. You could plan some proper adventures abroad. I'd get the panniers on the back and really just go exploring for what this bike's meant for. That is what it's all about. That really making me want to do that. It's what this Husqvarna's got it, and the KTMs, like I keep on saying, but they've just got that sense of fun, like immediate pickup from the throttle response, and the fueling's great as well. That is what you really want. It's got that excitement right there from the bike. You're never really feeling lacking of excitement. Oh, there's a little pooch. Hello. With the quick shifter I've missed a couple of gears actually. Tip if you're getting this bike, really not too aggressively, but if you be quite positive with the quick shifter and then it goes in beautifully. If you're a bit tentative with it, it has missed a couple gears. But if you do it positively, it's great. It goes straight into gear. One thing to note is I think because it's got the fuel bladder tanks, 19 litre capacity by the way, down below, it's a very wide seat at the back of the seat. I'm quite slim build. It's sort of slight lean forward, a slight canter forward on the seat. It's not uncomfortable, but I have definitely noticed that a few times riding along. The nether regions are quite sort of tucked up to the tank here compared to a more of a flat bench seat. I feel like there's a little bit of a canter forward in the seat. Just a point worth noting, I think. Mind you, if you have a larger behind, then that, if you shift back a bit, that wide section on the rear of the seat's really wide and comfortable. It's just there, going into even slow corners like that, you can really just lean it over. It's eager to lean over, even with the 21-inch front wheel. So guys, overall, I think you may have been able to tell I quite like this bike. There's definite downsides to it. Oh, not so much downsides, just personal preferences. If you're after a really smooth motor or slightly more, I don't know, premium's the wrong word, but refined two-wheeled friend, this may not be it. You maybe look more comfortable on the Africa Twin or the Triumph 9, Tiger 900, etc. Whereas if you want a fun, really good road riding and for off-road as well, confidence aspiring off-road bike and looking awesome, this is just a great machine. And I think it's sort of reasonably priced as well. It's not cheap, but compared to the competition, it's one of the better priced ones. So yeah, I think it's up there with a good shout. Thoroughly enjoyed the bike. Many thanks for watching. Also, many thanks to pole shot motocross here. If you're in the area, guys, the Salisbury area, come down. There's some awesome roads as you've seen today, and a few off-road tracks actually as well. If you want to test this bike out, come down. I'm sure they can give you a nice route you can go out and get stuck in on the bike. Oh, I don't know if you can see it in the reflection there. So cool. Ciao Bella.